Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Annie's Smoking Pot. Today we are going to be making shepherd's pie. Why? Because last night I had mashed potatoes with dinner and I tend to make way too much. So I have leftovers. What do you do with leftover mashed potatoes? You make shepherd's pie, right? Plus we had our first snowfall last night. So it just sounds like such a warm, comforting food. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I am doing this a little bit different than normal. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier in case you don't know how to make homemade biscuits or anything like that. So we are just using canned Pillsbury biscuits. And what I did is this fits perfectly in my air fryer and it fits perfectly in the pan that we're going to be cooking the shepherd's pie in, because you always want to cook the biscuits first. Otherwise, if you put the biscuits in the pan and then you add everything on top of it, well, the biscuits just get soggy and they're not going to get that nice crisp biscuit texture that you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press them. You know what? Let's use all 5. Why not? I'm going to press those into the square that I have here to make the base. I hum a lot. I say weird things. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my air fryer. We're going to go 360 for 8 minutes total. But after 4 minutes, you're gonna wanna flip the biscuits so that both sides get a really nice texture to it. I wanna get started on what we need for the filling. Now, like I said, I've got my leftover mashed potatoes. Right now, what I wanna do is get things sliced and diced and ready to go. I also had some leftover cremini mushrooms. You know, mushrooms get to that point where it's like you're either gonna use them or you're gonna lose them. Well, let's add some mushrooms to our shepherd's pie. Why not? Kind of just rough chop those up. It doesn't really matter. It's like a mishmash of stuff, maybe. I'm not really sure. I just know it's good. Maybe it started because shepherds in fields, it was something that was easy to carry and eat. No, I don't know. Who knew? Okay, I'm using about 1/4 of a sweet onion and I'm just dicing that up as well. Now that I've got all of that diced up, I'm gonna go ahead and get some oil in my pan here. Now I am going to go ahead and use olive oil because I like the flavor that that's going to invoke into our shepherd's pie. We're going to add the oil to the pan. That's probably roughly about a teaspoon. So I'm going to do it about a medium heat and we're just going to throw this into the pan here. Let the onions sweat for about 1 minute before I add the hamburger. So let me go ahead and get my biscuits going. I'm not going to leave them on the parchment paper because I want them to get that crispy all the way through. There we go. Go ahead and throw that in there. Now I like to do the leaner ground beef only because if it's too fatty, that tends to make your biscuit ooey gooey. Nobody wants that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get our ground beef in there. Now this is going to end up in the air fryer, like I said, to finish off cooking. And it's gonna cook for about 15 minutes. Beef doesn't have to be cooked 100%. You can leave a little bit of pink if you want. It really doesn't matter because it's basically going to continue to cook in the air fryer, but it's not going to dry out because the juice from the mashed potatoes, you know, will help keep it moist in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and break that hamburger up a bit. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add my minced garlic so we can get that incorporated in, and my salt and pepper. And it's just ground black pepper and pink Himalayan salt. The Worcestershire, not gonna add that just yet. That's gonna go in like right at the end, right before it's finished cooking. I just want to thank everybody who's been joining me on these videos that I've been making and leaving comments and encouragement. It's just really, really great to see and read. And I do try to get back to all the comments. And if you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. I've got about 30 seconds and then I'm going to be flipping those biscuits over. Just another quick stir here so it doesn't burn too bad or anything like that. Oh no, that's looking great. Oh, those are looking wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and put those back in for another 4 minutes. We'll let those finish off. All right, this is starting to look really good. Still got a little bit of pink, but not too bad, which is great. So I'm gonna go ahead now and add our Worcestershire sauce. We're just gonna add that right on in there, just like that. I love Worcestershire sauce. It is so good. I even put it in my Bloody Marys from time to time. All right, that's looking great. We've got about 3 minutes left on our biscuits and then we'll build this pie. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down because it is done. And I've already taken my pan. Now this is that great pan that I got off of Amazon, so it fits beautifully in my air fryer. I've lined it with parchment paper simply to make getting that shepherd's pie out a little bit easier. Okay, our biscuits are done. So I'm just gonna put these biscuits right here in the bottom of this pan. Oh, they're hot. Woo! Hotsy-totsy. Oh, they bejeebers. Hot, hot, hot. All right, this last one, I am just going to, as you can see, I've got gaps. I'm just gonna fill those gaps in. So I'm gonna take this biscuit. I am just going to wedge that down on in there. Just kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. Like I said, if you make homemade biscuits, it does work a little bit easier because then you obviously, you roll it out. It fits the pan beautifully, but you know what? This is the bottom. Doesn't have to be pretty, just tasty. Thank you, Marty. Try not to pick up your pan and just dump it because there is there is some residual liquid just from the hamburger and all of that. Like I said, I do get a very lean meat, so there's not too much, but I don't want my biscuits at the bottom to just get buried in liquid because then they just become a big soggy mess like I've said before. Now, when you get the meat in there, you just want to spread it out. Make sure it's, it's nicely even spread. Now, I'm going to pipe some mashed potatoes on there. Let me get my air fryer back on because I do need to put this back in there. Same temp, 360, but this is going to go for about 15 minutes. You want to do it just till those mashed potatoes get a nice golden brown on them. Let's pipe some taters. Woohoo! You just want to make sure and get that nicely covered all across the top, no gap. You can also top your shepherd's pie with a shredded cheese if you want before you put it in the air fryer. But remember, if you put cheese in the air fryer, make sure you mash it down into the potatoes. Otherwise, it will blow away and get up inside that element up above. We're gonna go ahead, like I said, we're gonna put that in 360 for about 15 minutes. And yes, I'm using my Jaws of Life because it works wonderfully. Look at that. Slides right on in there. Don't burn my hands or nothing. And now we're gonna go ahead and put that in there and I'll see you back here about 15 minutes. All right, welcome back. So I ended up adding an additional 3 minutes to my air fryer just to get it a little bit more golden brown. So it ended up being a total of 18 instead of 15. And it is done and it smells amazing. So look at that. Get my Jaws of Life here. Oh my goodness. That is just beyond perfect. Move it over and I'm gonna grab that out of there. My little parchment paper. Oh yeah. Look at that. Doesn't that just look amazing? All right, let's get this plated up. There we go. There is shepherd's pie cooked in my air fryer in my tiny home. Cook this up. I bet you'll be happy with it. Now, I like gravy on mine as well. Not everybody does. So I just put my gravy in a little dish on the side and then I can just drizzle as little or as much as I want. Very thick, rich brown gravy made from an amazing beef stock. Just like that. There we go. All right, thanks for watching another episode. Remember, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time. All right, bye.